Hello. Hello, Araceli.
Hola,
How you doing?
hola, hola.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to Cali Cocktail Hour. We have a great show for you tonight, a very fun, very positive show, too.
Yes,
Get some good energy going here. How are you doing this week?
me or
Yeah,
everybody out there.
you
I
too.
had a
We'll
good
we'll
I
start
had
with
a
you.
good week. I had a
Yeah.
good week, and I want to say I really loved your intro,
Oh, thank you. I've
and
been
I love
working on
your
that, too.
artwork. I've mentioned that it's really vibrant.
Thank you. I try. I
Yes.
try to bring some good, good vibes out there for everybody. So, yeah. Yeah. So we have a great show with Xico González. I know a lot of people out there know Chico, and we have Chris Jensen says hola, and Chris is going to have a live stream show next Thursday
Oh,
at 7 o'clock, and I will be his first guest.
how
So yeah,
exciting! Hi, Chris.
so this time he'll have to interview me.
Of
Anyways, yeah, so
course.
yeah, so like I said, I'm very excited about this show today because Chico has been doing some really good, artwork and some activism work, and he's a
Yes.
teacher too, so he's an educator. So it's going to be great to talk to him about many things, and I'm also excited about his new live stream show that's been going on for maybe about a month, I would think,
Mm,
probably more than a month now. But it's a really great show, and it's very enjoyable, and I think people should watch it more too. So we're trying to get some people out there, but yeah. So how are you? Yeah, you said you were doing good this week.
Yeah, and I joined Chico's show last night for a little bit, and we loved Saul and I really loved the intro too, with the loteria and all those
Ah,
wonderful colors.
you
And
see
I
Chico
actually
back there?
and I actually sent the link to Saul and I said, "You got to watch this," because I really loved his intro. I think it's
Oh,
really good.
really?
Yeah,
Looks like okay. I'm at the cut off Chico then, because yeah, I can't have what do you call it, competing
competition,
intros. Yes,
competition. No, yours
and
is
Chris
just as good.
Macias. Chris Macias says, "Happy Friday and much love to you." Hey, Chris, how you doing? Chris is an awesome guy too. Yeah, yeah. So hopefully, like I said, today we want to focus on some really good artwork, some good energy work too, and also some good manifesting vibes today, and some
Yes.
gratitude. Um, I had to deal with three male male talks, just male stuff today. Three males,
Yeah. Like
yeah, that
what?
were just rude, rude, and like
Oh, I see. I see.
but it also made me. I did react a little bit, which was I was kind of disappointed. I
The
usually am
triggers.
not. Yeah, yeah. Well, I had enough. I mean, like, come on. But I had my three, so that's my series of that today. But besides that, I've really been concentrating on. I'm not a good sleeper, so
Mm,
I've been concentrating on what happens when I wake up in the middle of the night and I have these racing thoughts,
yeah,
and we talked about this, and I look around myself, and I started to to be grateful for what's around me too, like my my
yes,
my girlfriend, my I'm in a
yes.
bed, I'm grateful for being somewhere warm.
Just the
So
little things, just the
yeah,
little things that add up at the end of the day.
yeah, the little things in life, just being able to walk outside, and so hopefully we continue that on too, because I think that gives us a little bit of especially in this kind of time of we don't know kind of what's happening yet. We knew a little
I
bit,
know.
right? So Victor says, I catch Chica show, but rooms on the level of magic treats and what, tune in. All right, perfect. Hey Victor, how you doing?
Mhm.
Yeah, so let's get to a song. Um, and anybody out there have any questions? Anybody have any feelings out there? Please put them down, and we will talk to you about them.
Yeah, any
Anywhere, anything,
insight?
yeah, anything that if you're having a bad day, if you're having, really, we're here for you, for that one person out there that really needs just to hear that we love you, right? So I'm gonna go to a song one that I've done before, but I really liked it. So I want to go
Good.
back. And also, we're going to come back with Chico right after this. So everybody,
Yay.
do not change that channel, because there is no channel to change. So
No.
you'll be lost.
Well, I'm excited
But
about the questions we're gonna ask Chico. So
yeah, yeah, me too. And it's because it's going to be improv. We'll see what Chico has to
yeah.
say. I do have a couple of gotcha questions he doesn't know about yet. So,
Ooh.
uh, anyways, everybody else, thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour, and we'll be back with Chico Gonzalez right after this. And we are back.
Now, can I ask you, did you put this video together?
Yes, I created it's a glitch video for good
so
vibes.
mesmerizing.
I know. I don't say it in words anymore. I say it in glitch art form. So let me
Hola,
see.
Xico.
Yes.
Hola,
See,
buenas noches.
I was hyped up. Now I'm very relaxed now. Hola,
I
Xico.
know.
Hola, hola.
Yeah. Let's just see what the crowd has to say real quick. Oka, primo. All right. That's my cousin. I think it's hola.
It happens.
Yeah. And then Raquel says, let's put out some good vibes for those who might need it. Yes. And then Victor says, hola, Chico.
¿Qué hola, Victor?
Yeah. So how you doing, Chico? How's it going?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Yeah, no, that's great. See? And we have another one.
Orale.
Ooh, you got your fans.
Yeah. Oh, someone's echoing.
Oh, is it me?
Or is it me?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Is it me?
No, I don't know. I don't hear the echo myself. So, yeah, maybe. Anyways, you want to figure that out.
It's the goodbyes, bro. It's the goodbyes.
That's all. That's a dub version. Dub version of what's going on. So, Chico, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so there's so much so much you do, and we have to kind of condense it or what do you call it, focus on.
I know there's so much.
Yeah. So, give us a little background for the people who don't know who Xico González is.
So my name is Xico González. I'm a Chicano artist, activist, organizer, a teacher, an educator, and an overall revoltoso, man. I'm always in the mix, trying to create change for our people.
Right
I
on.
don't know. I don't know. You want the short condensed version, or you want me
Oh,
to
that was quick, but that
go
that
the
was
long winded?
yeah. Give us some more. So when you're a teacher at the Met, or right?
Yeah, so I've been teaching at the Met for the past 10 years. It's a charter school through Saxon Unified School District by Southside Park. We're in 8th and V. And I really love the model. We follow the model of the Big Picture network that started back in the East Coast, in Providence, Rhode Island. And we have schools all over the world. Before I became a high school teacher, I was a professor, part-time professor, an adjunct faculty member at Sac State in the ethnic studies department and the art department. And then I went to UC Davis and I was teaching Chicano studies over there. And around that time, I was teaching introductory courses into Chicano studies, and a lot of our students they didn't know themselves, man. They've been they never taught them anything about like who they are in the K through 12 system. So a lot of them had like um, a different view of who they are, right? Especially the students that came from like little towns where, the Mexicanos are the children, the farm workers, and the Gabachos are like the growers, right? So they grew up with inferiority complexes. So for them taking an introduction to Chicano studies class or introduction to Chicano culture or history was like an eye opener. And it was there that I saw that, our kids deserve to have this knowledge before they get to university. So I decided to become a high school teacher. There was an opening at the Met. I applied for it and I've been there since. And one of the really cool things about the Met is that we get to move with the same students for 4 years. So we get them freshman year and then we go on the journey with them from 9th grade to 12th grade. So we develop these beautiful relationships with the students and their families. So I love it there, man. I don't know if I can teach at a regular like high school, a comprehensive high school, but I love teaching at the Met.
Right
How
on.
So
fascinating. It's
shout out,
so
shout out to all the
fascinating.
masters.
So it was more like a calling for what I hear. It was more like something very deep inside of
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So ever since I was a high school student, I wanted to become a teacher. Back then, I wanted to become a history teacher, and then somewhere along the way, they steer me somewhere else. And at the end, I wanted to become a professor, and then I did that, and then I came back first circle to what I originally wanted to do.
Well, we have some people saying hi to you real quick too. Chris
So,
says hi,
Chris,
Chico. Yeah. Digging the hat.
gracias, Goran brothers, bro.
Hello from the Mule residence. Hello, Amber. Hello, Uli. Chico de Chicago. Yeah.
Not really. No, the Chicago.
No. He's in Chicago.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's right. Yeah. He said Chico.
How
Yeah.
Órale,
nice. People love
saludos, bro.
you.
Yeah. Is everybody having a Chico echo out there? I know one person is, but is anybody else? Saul? Well, Saul's on the stream too, but he's our
All right.
he's our backup.
He's monitoring.
So I check my mic and my headphones, and everything's supposed to be
perfect. All right.
I know, but you never know with these things, these gadgets.
Right?
Like you never know what could go wrong. But I hear you all right.
Okay.
Chido.
Let's see. Anybody else out there? You guys, can you hear clearly out there? We need some system support. Yeah.
Well, I just want to ask Xico one thing, if I may.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, ask away.
Well, because you talk about all these things that you are, and one thing, a more mundane thing that I can think about is like, when did you do all these things? You look so young, and it's like 9 lives, right? But another thing, because I see all the descriptions of you and who you are, poet, activist, award-winning educator. That's really fascinating, and I really want to hear more eventually on that. But if you were to just and maybe you already know this, but if you were to close your eyes and think of all the things that drive you, all the things that motivate you and inspire you every day, what is the one thing that fully defines you? Like if somebody asked you, like they came today and said, who are you? If you had to describe yourself in just a couple words, what would that be?
I'm a Chicano.
Oh.
And I live it with that word right there.
Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. See, I think the word, I mean, the echo sounds good. So, no, that's great. That's really great thing
And you know why I think it's so beautiful, Chico? Because you talk about how you are so inspired by the kids, and you
Mhm,
notice that there was this lack of identity. And I think identity is everything,
mhm,
feeling proud. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Mexicanos, Latinoamericanos, Centroamericanos, anyone from any part of the world that, converges here. When they leave their land and their families and those things that are familiar to them, um, what's important is going back to answering that question,
mhm. No, yeah, I think that you have to have like strong roots. You have the roots well planted in the soil, in a sense. And once you have that, you can sway. The wind can sway you, but you are there. You're strong, and you remain strong. And I think that I adhere to the concept of la cultura cura that I was taught by elders in the Chicano movement. And I think it's if you have a good sense of who you are, you're
Yes.
filled with this pride that propels you forward, right? And I'm not
Yes.
saying that you're like looking at everybody else in a negative view or anything like that. Just be proud of who you are, and that will propel you forward. And I think that's one of the things that I want to instill in my students. My mentor Ricardo Favela, who passed away in 2007, he always spoke to us, to his students, about that, about expressing your culture through your art. And he used to say, everybody has a culture, and
Yes.
it's true. So like, keep it real with your roots, and you can go places, I guess.
And
Yes.
Richard just had a show, right? Didn't you just go to? He has a
Yeah, so there's a retrospective right now in Visalia, which is he grew up there. He went to college, to the College of the Sequoias, there in Visalia, California. And Fast Eddie Salas, one of the homies, he curated a show of his work, of Ricardo Favela's work, and it's a beautiful show. It's at a place called Arts Visalia. And yeah, so I went and check out the show. I'm very familiar with his work and with the pieces. I've curated two shows before of his work, but this is Fast Eddie just took it like one step further. He has some grants, he has some money, and the show looks amazing. So props to Fast Eddie Salas for organizing the beautiful tribute to our fallen comrade.
yeah. And on that note,
I can hear the echo now.
on that note too, I'm gonna because you have something that you did in a book that you can describe better than I can. I'm gonna bring it up for you
All right.
because I know that you have a work that you did with him too. Let me real quick right here. Um, Rest in power, Richard
For
Favela.
real.
He was my mom's hometown, and
I knew yeah.
yeah, it's a family friend. Oh, good. See, awesome.
No, a lot of people like love and respect Ricardo. He was an awesome, outstanding guy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let me see.
Well, there you go. This is Tina Favela. This is Ricardo Favela's daughter. The grant was also to preserve the historic work of Favela collection of the RCAF, the Royal Chicano Air Force. He was one of the founders of the RCAF along Jose Montoya and Esteban Villa. And
And
they
Hmm.
founded that back in like 69. So, Ricardo has a long legacy of he's a pioneer of the Chicano art movement.
was he in Sacramento based too, or did he live in
Yeah, yeah.
Sacramento?
So
Or
so he came from the College of the Sequoias, like where his show is at right now.
yeah,
Uh, well, actually, it was supposed to be at the College of the Sequoias, right? But because of COVID, it was moved to the community, to this place called Arts Visalia. And so when Ricardo graduated from the College of the Sequoias, he transferred to Sacramento State in the like mid '60s. And in '69, he met Jose Montoya and Esteban Villa, who were part of
Hmm.
the Chicanito, or he was part of the Mexican American like fellows program. They brought a bunch of Chicanos to Sacramento State, and they were like earning their master's degrees. And around that time, Ricardo was an undergrad, and he met them, and he like connected with them, and they started this whole movement. Jose and Esteban had already been compadres for a long time. They went to college of the College of Arts and Crafts in Oakland, and they had an organization over there called Mexican American Liberation Art Front, La Mala F, they call it,
Ooh.
or Malaf.
Hmm.
So when they came over here, they hooked up with Ricardo and other students, and they formed the Rebel Chicano Art Front, and they signed everything RCAF, and they got confused with the Royal Canadian Air Force, and they were like, "Chales, we're the Royal Chicano Air Force." So yeah, so I come from that legacy, as being Ricardo's mentee. So shout out to Tina and the Favela family, and everybody that was involved in putting this exhibit together.
And so that brings me into the book, right? Because there's you did a couple of pieces, I think, with Favela and Montoya, right? That's the names on there. So what was the book? And what was? Oh, hold on, we got some hearts.
Some hearts.
Yeah, of course.
Those are important.
Some mucho amor. Yeah. So
Tina, she's like a sister to me, bro. Like we go back like 20 plus years.
Well, welcome, Tina. It was great to have you here. Yeah. Yes. So let's go to this, and we can describe a little bit more about it, because we remember, no questions here, just right now, just in the moment. Okay, tell us about this.
All right, so there is a big show right now, the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. It's an exhibition called "Printing the Revolution: The Rise and Impact of Chicano Graphics, 1965 to Now." So the curators are went around the U.S. and collected work by Chicano artists to represent in this exhibition, and the artwork became part of the archives, right? So right now, the show is up at the Smithsonian. Is set to travel around the U.S. So they collected 5 pieces from me, and 2 of the pieces are a poster that I did of Ricardo Favela and a poster that I did of Jose Montoya back in like 2004. And these 2 pieces are in the book, the catalog of the exhibition, and it just talks about how they were my mentors, and they they passed down some knowledge, and I carry on the legacy of Chicanismo that they put forth, especially Ricardo. Ricardo was my mentor. I worked with him for 8 years. He was my compa, my friend, like a father figure. He was an awesome dude. So I'm glad that they decided to print these 2 images, even though these 2 images are not in the show. They decided to print them in the catalog.
That's nice. And Tina said, "Thank you. We go way back, bro." And then
that's my compa Heraclio. One jale chico. Always proud of you. Thank you, carnal.
Yeah. So you got some love out there. Some amor. So see, sorry.
This is your show, man. You do that.
No, I know. We'll talk about this later on. This is it right here.
No fighting.
Let me know. You can read the long ones because I'm dyslexic, so I'll mess them up. So okay. So Adi, you want to read this one?
Sure. My aunt Esther Hernandez is also in that show at the Smithsonian. It's an incredible collection.
Yeah, Chris was supposed to send. I think, did I ask you for a picture of what your aunt's artwork is? So it'd be cool to show it too. And then Raquel said, "Congratulations! Wow, congratulations!"
Yeah, congratulations! It sounds beautiful.
Muchas gracias.
And then let me play. I'm gonna give the other one too, right here.
So this is the actual poster that is in the show. And I'm really proud to be representing Sacramento in this show. Like I'm there with Jose Montoya, Ricardo Favela, Louis the Food González, Rudy Cuellar, and Hector González, representing Sacramento.
Yeah.
And also my mentor Malaquias Montoya is there. And in the image on the left, you can see Salam, We're a Peaceful People. That's a poster that I created for the marches here in Sacramento, the women's marches. One of the things about the women's marches here in Sacramento is that they were like primarily being organized by white women that are not from Sacramento. So they were like leaving the voices of women of color to the side. So what I decided to do, I created posters featuring women of color, and like to enhance the concerns of our communities, right? Yeah. So around this time there was a lot of xenophobia against Muslims, right? The Muslim ban and all that. So I decided to create this poster of this little Palestinian girl with the peace sign up. Salam, we're a peaceful people. And around this time, I was doing a lot of work with Soul Collective. I mean, I still do, but around this time we were working a lot with augmented reality. So there was an app called HP Reveal. And if you download the app and you follow So Collective with me, you can trigger these images. And when you trigger this image, my homegirl Saida Islam, you can see her on the left right there. She's a Chicana Muslim. She's Pakistani and Mexican. And she talks about, what it's like to be a Chicana Muslim. And so, nowadays, working with high school students, you need to engage them, right? So they were like triggering the images and like learning more about like the struggle. So this piece is being shown right now at the Smithsonian. It's like unfortunately because of COVID, like the museum was closed. I was gonna go over there, but I wasn't able to. Hopefully, if things get better, I think the show is gonna be up till summer. So hopefully, I'll get to make it. But it is a big deal, like to be in the archives, and just think about like the little boy that was todo chorreado in Mexico, making it to the National Archives is a big deal, and Araceli can probably relate to that. But like
chorreado means very well
chorreado.
It means well groomed to Mexico.
Yeah, it is. It does.
Champagne Music Box says great artwork, and thank you, Uli, out there. And then this was right before that.
So Tina said that always called Esther, his homegirl from the Nuba. Just so you know, like, if people don't know who Esther Hernandez is also a pioneer of the Chicano art movement. So, Chris has a lot to be proud of. Esther Hernandez, like if you open any Chicano art book, she's going to be in those books, especially when we talk about like, like queer Chicanas, she like embodied that and she put it out there. And her work is powerful. And, I'm glad to be in the company of Esther and Ricardo and Malaquias and all those great Chicano artists from the past and from the present.
Well, it's funny because I am learning a little more about that. I kind of passed that phase of my goth years, I guess. I was out rocking out, and so it's it's kind of cool to come back and make a full circle as I get older, right? And learning so much history and the people that came before us, and did all that work. So, and we have Montoya, Luna's Cafe.
Yeah.
And then, you want to read this?
Go ahead, Xico. Want me to? Congratulations, Xico González, on being part of the Smithsonian show. It is a big deal. Thanks for the info on favela and Chicano history.
You're welcome, Andres.
Can I say something? Because, there's... Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, I can read this one. Making us proud.
Good job, Ruben.
Yeah, okay. I'm feeling hot now.
Good job. No, I just hear you talk about all these things. First, I mean, it's like a two-part question, because first of all, I hear about, your work as an activist. I hear about your work as a teacher and a community organizer. And I feel that any of those roles really takes a lot or a great deal of selflessness and a great, great deep love for humanity in general. So, it's like, I want to know, what is the force, that drives you to get up and want to do all those things? Because every bit of that takes a lot of energy. And then on the other side is like, I hear all these names that I recognize, all the viejones, RCAF, Villa, Juanishi Orozco, Jose Montoya, all of them, it's what a treasure to have right before you, and those that are now looking at you as inspiration. So can you share a little bit about both of those aspects,
So someone answered it.
That's my wife right there.
Oh, Victoria. Well, in fact, I was going to say, because, having this platform, from which you can launch your every idea and inspiration. I know one of those cores has to be your beautiful wife, Victoria, and your daughter, Luna. And I mean,
who's an author?
Tell us about
Luna's an author too. Yes.
Oh, is she?
Right?
Yeah.
She has a book out too.
So tell us about those things that just come from within and drive you to do all the things that you do.
Vicky's totally right. It's the love that I have for my people and the love that I have for my culture that propels me forward to do this, right? I always say this, si no uno quien,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't do it ourselves, who's gonna do
Oh,
it, right? So we need to share, like Ruben was talking about, like gratitude and all this and that, right? And
yes.
that's what it's all about, right? It's all about like being grateful for what you have, counting your blessings and sharing those blessings with the community, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily because they don't have any or anything like that, but because like you were saying, it's part of being humanistic, or like like
Yeah.
humanitarian, and trying
Yes.
to do some changes. And yeah, I use the platform that I have as a teacher to encourage students to work for their communities. And just to like give you an example, a few weeks ago, I was a machista when I was a college student. I was in Mecha, the
What?
Chicano Stoa Movement of
Oh,
Islam, right?
machista. I thought you said
Yeah.
machista. I said
No,
you.
no, no, no. Mechista.
Machista. Okay.
So I was in Mecha, the Chicano Stoa Movement of Islam, an organization that started back in 1969, at the height of the Chicano movement. And so I carry a lot of those values, right? The values of, like, like working for the betterment of your people, right? And I frame it like that, but like, eventually, you branch out to see that other communities, especially in the represented communities, are like suffering the same way that you are suffering, right? So you
Yes.
create this solidarity, bonds with them. And like the image that I showed you, that image that is at the Smithsonian, is a portrait of a little Palestinian girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were displaced, by Israel, into like camps.
Like a
They
limbo, right?
Yeah, they have like suffer. I mean, they have committed genocide against them, and all that. So you see that, right? As like the fight for the land. And when you look into Mexico, you look at the Zapatistas, and they're like doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So you recognize yourself in other people's struggles. So so uh so like Mecha was a big part of that, right? It was like the first step into getting into that type of work. So
Mhm.
when I became a high school student, right away I established a Mecha chapter at the Met. So every year, we do cultural celebrations. We do like we go to marches, we organize events, and we do all kinds of different things. But the point that I was trying to make is that a few weeks ago, we organized a clothing and food drive to support Cafe.
Mm.
Cafe is clothing and food for everyone. It's run by Armando Flores. Shout out to Armando and all the wonderful work that he's been doing for the last 9 years. Every Sunday, he's at Cesar Chavez Park, providing food, clothing, shoes, and other necessities to homeless people. So I got all the machistas from the Met, all my students, and we, like, filled like 2 carloads with like clothing and food and stuff like that, and we outreach to the community. So I always tell my students, you don't need a high school diploma, you don't need a college diploma to, like, to bring change to the people, to make an impact, to start working, right?
Yes.
So that it's part of that. It's part of that, like, not only doing the work myself, but encouraging others to work towards that too.
It's the
Because
empathy.
hmm and
As oh, go ahead.
and
As Vicky
go ahead.
says, it's his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's what it comes
Yes,
down
Corazon.
to.
Vicky.
Corazon, yes. And
If
then
anyone knows your heart, is Vicky.
There
see,
you go.
well, Serge is Chicano Chicon, right? We also have Zach Jones. Do you know? He said, "Hey,
Hey. So Zach Jones, his kids went through the Met.
you know,
Uh, See, his older son was my student.
So where exactly is the Met?
So we're located at 810 V Street, and
Oh,
we're open for business right now. So if you have fresh students that are in 8th grade going into freshman year, and you don't have a school, come and check us out.
send them there.
MetSacramento.org.
and
If
Zach
your
Jones.
kid is not happy, they're big comprehensive high school, send them to us.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I knew Zach Jones when we were kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have stories about Zach Jones. He's great.
So yeah, his son Alex was my student.
Awesome. See that how the world
Yeah.
is small, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's a long time. Hey Zach, what's up? Zach just sent me a picture of our old neighborhood too. So yeah. So and Flora says hi. Adi, you want to read this one? Right.
I think having Chicano studies life skills classes that keep the more distance Chicanos on the up would be great. As time goes by, there are more Chicanos that are unaware of the details first generations know, like the daily struggles in the life of an average Mexican in Mexico. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to have this. I mean, because it is good to have that conversation too, right? Because as you know, as we get farther and farther away, you know, we lose those stories. I mean, even what you're talking about now, you know, with the Rocha kind of Air Force, like in learning, I mean, especially being around that kind of energy of people, you know, what did you know, like how was that being around everybody like that in that because that's what I wonder too. I'm like, how would it be, you know, being around, you know, especially something that was so powerful in a generation.
You know, we had access to like people that, you know, outside of Sacramento, people regarded like really high.
Yeah.
Like Jose Montoya, right? He's known as the godfather of Chicano poetry.
Yeah.
He was like really accessible. I mean, somebody mentioned Luna's Cafe, right? I don't know if you remember
Art Luna.
Yeah.
Art Luna. I don't know if you remember Café Paris.
I remember it. I remember it.
So in all these poetry scenes, right? La Raza Galería Posada, you know, before it went somewhere else. Let's not talk about that right now.
I know.
But,
let's be,
you know,
yeah.
we used to get together, right? And we used to like do poetry and stuff like that. And Jose was like really approachable, and you know, we would like talk to him. Ricardo Favela, you know, he was one of those people that, you know, he was a professor and he was showing his work with us, you know, with his students. And we were like, you know, we were like underclassmen, and you know, we were like showing our work with somebody that was already in like Chicano art books and stuff like that. So that accessibility really like made an impact on us. And you know, I like they one if they thought of something is like, you know, like to be humble, especially Ricardo, you know, and be accessible to people. So that's something that, you know, that I always that I love about like Ricardo, that he was able to do that. And they were always like down to like, you know, share knowledge, share stories and stuff like that. And to a lot of people, you know, like maybe like, oh, I heard this already, you know, things like that. But to us, it's like, oh shit, you know, I can do this too, right?
Yeah.
So like through those stories, I got like some really good ideas. Like back in the day, Louis the Food Gonzalez used to have a poetry readings at the Reno Club. And if you have been around them, you heard like stories about the Reno Club and how, like, you know, poets from all over the US came and they read there and stuff like that. And he used to have they used to have a series called Just Another Canto. So when I was a college student, I brought back Just Another Canto in the name, like I changed the name to like Raza Poetry Series, but it was like the same thing, the same vibe, right? So so if there was something that they showed us is like, you know, be active and, you know, provide a platform for others to share their Chicanismo.
Yeah, and don't you feel like their energy transferred into you, and you know, and everybody else around them, you know, because it seems like you have that kind of same, you know, the same, you know, energy to, you know, the heart, right? The heart for the love for people, love for your own people, you know, it's like, you know, so I mean, besides the art. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So they used to say, right, because right now, this is the same thing that is happening right now, right? With this, there's a war on the word Chicano, right?
Yeah.
Chicano, Chicana, Chicanekis, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to be like Latinekis, Latino, Latina, and all that, right? But you know, is Hispanic, Hispanekis and all that. So back then, right, it was all about like being a Hispanic, right? And to a lot of Chicanos, it was like selling out, you know, like in order for you to get grants, you need to like change, like, you know, your identity and stuff like, and your label and stuff like that. And they remain like Chicano till the end, right? Till the day they died. So, you know, I want to follow on that footsteps, because we have not achieved self-determination for like, you know, Chicanos and Chicanas. I mean, we still have the highest dropout rates. We still like, you know, have like really high rates when it comes to like poverty and all this and that. So a lot of the social ills that they were fighting against, we'll start fighting, you know?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you know, we're still like en la lucha.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. And, you know, when you, speaking of identity too, you know, Chicanos is a culture of its own, or on its own, you know, but when you talk about people referring to themselves as this or that, just from the moment where somebody asks you where you're from and you cannot clearly say, I am this, you know, you have to globalize the term. I think that's it's an ailment, and and it goes like back to this, to
Mhm.
who you think you are or who you think you should be.
No, it's true. You know, one of the things that Chicanos always were trying to do was they were trying to reclaim their indigenous roots, right?
Yeah.
So when you go towards labels like Hispanic, right? Hispanic
Or
comes from
Latino.
Hispania, or Latino, right? Comes from like Latin, and we're not a dead language. We're a living, thriving people. So when you go towards, like the Eurocentric side and kind of like try to stay away from the indigenous side or the African side, there's a problem, right? Where we're enforcing like, white supremacy.
Yes.
And right now, we're fighting against that.
Yeah. And I'm 55% indigenous. So
Mhm.
I'm past that threshold. I'm like, yes, you know,
Right.
all my life I felt that
I,
way.
I
Right.
think in the US, you're supposed to be like 25% to be
Well,
like, to be
unfortunately,
acknowledged by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and
yeah.
a lot of Chicanos were like 40 plus.
Yeah.
I'm 46%, no, 49% native.
Yeah. And see, like, my all of my DNA, it says I have 2,000 something DNA relatives. 100% are native blood. I'm like, of course.
Yes,
You
I
know what I mean?
haven't done that. I don't
What do
know
you
what,
think?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Zacatecas.
I'd be intrigued to see what's, but I think it's fascinating the work that you do, because I think it really inspires people. And I'm really intrigued, and I want to ask you this, if I may, because I know I was telling Ruben when he asked me to join him tonight and that would be interviewing you. I said, I don't remember meeting you or interacting with you, but in looking back at some of your photos, just from the time that I followed
Mhm.
you off and on, I remember you with these amazing rastas. So
Yes.
you were a rasta man, or still are, and what? It's a different image. Speaking of images,
Yeah.
can you tell us about how you became one, and then the transition to like?
Yeah. So we used to there was a big movement in Mexico that came out of Mexico. It was the Rasteca movement, right?
Mm,
And the Aztec priests, they used to have like rastas. Their hair was matted, kind of like in the Rastaman, style, right?
yeah.
So around in the 90s, I was listening to a lot of like reggae. This
Mm.
is a funny story, or like, I think it's funny. When I was growing up in Mexico, when I was growing up in Mexico, everybody in my barrio loved Bob Marley,
Yeah.
but none of us spoke English. But
Uh-huh.
we loved the music, and we were like so connected to the lyrics, right?
No.
Because somehow like somebody I grew up in the border, so a lot of people spoke English, so they will translate them. So I have early memories of like being like like 10, 11 years old, and like listening to Bob Marley, and like listening to Steel Pulse, listening to Burning Spear. So there was a lot of bands. So I had like this like deep love for like
Like a
reggae, right?
fascination.
And in
Yeah.
the 90s, I was like really into rock en español. And rock en español around that time, it was so open, right? You had like reggae, you have hip hop, you had like all kinds of like styles in there. You had Maldita Vecindad, was like plays like
Yes.
rumba and mambo and all that, right? So it was like a mestizaje in the music. And one of my favorite bands around that time was Todos Tus Muertos. And
Hmm.
Todos Tus Muertos, they're from Argentina, and they're like black Argentinos rastas. So
Wow.
around that time, I started growing my dreadlocks, and I really love the philosophy, the Rasta philosophy, of
Yes.
that doesn't want anything to do with Babylon, that is like really anti like anti like white supremacy, anti-capitalist, and all that. So I grew up my hair, and at one point I had him like abajo de mis nachas. Estaba tan largo el pelo que
Muy largo.
estaba así.
Nice.
And I think
Nice.
that's how I remember you, vaguely, just from that image. And so I was just really curious to know how you transitioned and why you let go of your,
Yes. So
Let me oh,
I
go
did
ahead.
Amanda. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
So it was Amanda it was a 15-year Amanda, and once I did the 15 years, I
oh,
decided to cut my hair. But I
oh,
think that the philosophy, con las razas o sin las razas es lo mismo, ¿no?
yeah, yeah,
Que
yeah.
se
Oh,
joda
yeah.
Babilonia.
So
Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, so we have a question from way back. Let me bring that up too. Well,
All
sorry.
right.
It is because I think we're talking about DNA, right? And so
Totally.
Flores and I have been wondering about us biracial people who ate a little of so much. I can say I'm Hispanic, but I've never been raised that way because she is Chilean, Cherokee. I mean, yeah, Cherokee, Irish, and Russian. And people like like that have all kinds of mixes in there. It is a kind of find what kind of what defines you, right? Or what calls at you, because I know that my friend Uli, who is 100% German, for some reason now he's 56% German. He's going down on the well, he is 40%, 44% Neanderthal. So yeah, it's true.
23 and me.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, is how you feel. Nobody has the right to like identify you, right?
Yeah.
And I know maybe that contradicts this whole thing that I'm saying about like Latinos and Hispanics and all that. But at the end of the day, it's your own label, right? But when they would try to paint us with the same like brushstroke, I have a problem with that, because I'm Chicano. But when it comes to it, if you feel like you don't feel a connection, like search, do some genealogy work, find out like who came from Chile and all that, right?
Yeah.
So like I know that Ruben probably did you do 23andMe?
Yeah.
Or you did Ancestry.com?
I did 23andMe. Yeah. So
so like like most. Go ahead.
Oh no, you have to go ahead. I bow to you.
Dale, Chico.
So so one of the things that we need to like keep in mind is like if you study history, you like you can pinpoint like when the mestizaje happened, right? So we know that the Moors, the Arabs were in Spain for 700 years, right? From like early 700 all the way to 1492 when Ferdinand and Isabella like consolidated Spain and they kicked out the Muslims, or they made them convert into Catholicism. And they did the same thing to the Jewish people, right? They either like expelled them, or they made them they forced them to become Catholic. So once you take like a DNA test, so the Moors came from like, or like the Arabs came from like like the Arabian Peninsula, and then they conquer all of North Africa, and all the North Africans that were under the the Caliphate, they went into Spain. So they carry the North African / Arabian blood into Spain with them, right?
Yeah.
So then like Spanish, the Iberians were already there, right? So when they came, and the Jewish, they mixed with them. They mixed with them too, right? The intermarriages and all that. So when they came to the Americas, they brought that blood with them, right? Yeah. So if in your DNA you have like Ashkenazi Jew, that's where it comes from. If you have Arab / North African blood, that's where it comes from.
That's me.
If you have Iberian blood, that's where it comes from. And let's be honest too, they brought Africans as slaves into Mexico and into the Americas, right? From West Africa. So if you have that blood, that's where that blood came from. And then the natives were already here, right? Yeah. So that's why we carry that mestizaje. So it's funny because, in the things that I'm talking about, oftentimes people talk about their like, their grandma or their grandfather that had blue eyes, that was like a güero and all this and that. But nobody talks about their abuelitas that were prietitas y chaparritas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have a lot of that, and like I know a lot of that is being pinpointed right now, but it's a reality, right? Yeah. When like little children are born, and if they're like on the dark side, people make comments. Ay, pobrecito, qué morenito está, right? Or ay, mira, qué bonito que nació güerito. O qué bueno que no nació prietito como tú, So we have all these things, right? But the reality is that we are that.
Yeah. And then
in different percentages, but we're that.
Yeah, I got all that what you put in there. Everything. And I got Cyprus. So I got from Cyprus too. Yeah. My thing is I have to find out if we're Portuguese or we're Spanish. That's the thing too. And then my friend Amber says she's 50% indigenous and Navajo. And we're talking about right now. She says, I get it. My father's tribal, my mother's white. So being biracial can be a struggle. It took me a long time to realize that I'm two people, racist culture, not half of this and half of that. That's beautiful. That is actually a very beautiful statement, because
and you have to embrace it.
Yeah. And then a lot of Chileans don't want to talk about their native
Yeah, the
You know,
Mapuches.
right? And I think that a lot of people are like that, right? Because I know that Mexico, the native people are second-class citizens too, right? I mean, they really don't give them much, and I know that a lot of Mexicans won't claim they're native
Well,
too.
and I've
You know?
heard in real conversations, I hear people, when somebody assumes that someone is Mexican, they'll go through hoops to explain how they are not.
Yeah.
And it's painful. It's really painful because I always feel like este cascarón is just so temporary. What really connects us to everyone else is what's inside. Like Vicky says, your heart, it's our hearts that connects us. So if we learned how to just open up the heart, forget it. This cascarón, the color of our skin, our hair, our eyes, it's not going to mean anything.
That's true.
Sorry. I'm
Don't
in the
apologize.
back. I'm in the back. Actually, I'm apologizing myself. I'm like, why are you doing this? So everybody out there, thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. Yeah, we appreciate you. Appreciate you coming to this conversation, Xico and Adi, for trusting to being the co-host, thrown in there without.
Oh man, this is a pleasure. Are you
and
kidding
let's
me?
not forget our Saul back there. I see
hi
him.
Saul.
Yeah, so everybody say hi to Saul real quick before.
Saul.
You and Xico, Saul and Xico must meet up and do things together.
Órale.
So we'll be back in a second. Saul will bring you back up in a little bit too. Hola. I just want to know everybody's out there. So that's a great person back there. Okay. What was to say? This is so great. Yes, painful.
Yes.
And for me, like I feel like my journey right now is like, I've been looking through my, real quick, I've been looking through my native blood and then going up to, I used to tell people I would, feel very uncomfortable and something weird when Aztec drumming was going on. And I used to tell Andreas this, I go, I'm going to get some mezcal in me. And when I hear Aztec drumming, I'm like, I'm ready to fight, ready to go. Right. And I was like, he's like, no. It was a joke. He's laughing. And, but then I started looking at my DNA and what kind of native we were. And of course, we're the Chichimeca who fought the Aztecs, right?
Los peleoneros.
Yeah. So, there was a group of 5, I think it was 5 groups, right? I think I got close to the Zacatecos. Yeah. And, do you know the groups yourself?
I think there's 7.
7, okay.
Migrated from the 7 capes of Aztlan, or the 7 capes. But yeah, Chichimeca is like the dog people, bro. So
yeah, but now I finally proved my point. I'm like, I knew it, and I was studying trauma through DNA too, and I was like, and going through that, I'm like, because think about, I tell everybody, I'm like, my story is that there was a native woman who met a Spanish/Portuguese, and they fell in love, and they, blah blah blah. They had the story, and most likely it's probably not true. What I mean? Yeah. So, but I've also understand it wasn't true exactly. But my thing is, is to really. That's the reason why I think we need to. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no.
Finish your thought, bro.
Oh no, I was saying like so. I mean, that's I would joke around people. I'm like, I know that didn't happen. I know that's probably the last that happened. But I've also understand that I have to become one with my whole self. Like I have to forgive that incident or whatever the case may be in order to move on with my life, and also to look at every part of my DNA and make peace with it, right, and learn about it. So I want to learn about the African part. I want to learn about the Jewish part. I want to learn about the Cyprus part. I want to learn about, and I really want to, and I really want to make peace with my whole self, which is a lot, because there's like 7 different things I have to make peace with. So, and, you just don't know what journey, like when I go to Mexico, I know that people appear to me that aren't there, right? But they tell me stories that I'm supposed to learn in my life. And so there's all these stories that we don't know, we talk about energy, how we go into that spiritual realm of all this stuff. Like, where do our DNA, where does music come from? Where's all this stuff that, that we, have in our own DNA. Let me go before that too. So the prejudice in our Mexican cultures, our skin color is real. Yeah. We're all beautiful, amazing blend of DNA.
Yeah.
Yes. And I played that video I think it was a couple of shows ago with the actor who talked about that. And you see him, remember, I forgot his name. You would see him in these Mexican movies, and he's right. He does play all these thugs, and because he was darker than everybody else. But I was like, you wouldn't even think about it. But yeah, so that is, that's something that we have to talk about too, is in our own within our own selves too. But anyways, yes. So I am going to play a song. We're going to go to a song, and this song is actually from a group that Xico had. We're going to come back and talk about his his podcast that he had. No podcast.
Yeah, I joined you for a little bit last night, Xico, and that was really great.
Yeah, and Xico, you want to explain a little bit about this group that we're going to play?
Yeah, so this group is they're called Mariposas del Alma, butterflies of the soul, or soulful butterflies, and they're a group of 3 sisters. They're from Oakland, California, and they connected with this group called Discos Resaca Collected. It's a group of very talented musicians, right? Accordion player. They do a lot of cumbia and stuff like that, and it's really cool. Most of them are Chicanos, but a lot of them are like I know that one of Brian is Puerto Riqueño, and Mariposas themselves are Salvadorian and Mexican. So I have this series called Raza y Rolas, where I invite cultural workers, artists, DJs, musicians. And right now I started with them a new series. I do monthly series because I wanna keep the focus, like 4 weeks or 5 weeks of the same theme. So I call this series Raza y Rolas Viva la Música series. And I opened with them yesterday. They're like beautiful. I don't know which song you're gonna play, but any song by them is super, super nice. So yesterday we had a conversation about their bringing their musical journey and all that, and that's where like Ruben is gonna play that clip.
Saul and I had fun watching, and we really loved their candidness. It was really fun, and it was so raw and real.
Ready, everybody? Sit back, relax, have a drink, whatever it's going to be, and we'll be back right after this. And so we'll come back. Okay, everybody, listen up. All right. I have so many questions about that.
That was so high vibe. So beautiful.
Yeah, that was awesome. Everybody out there, I want to go back to this question. Not that I'm vain or anything like that, but there's someone finally said something good about me, so I have to. Ruben, you've always been so special. Oh, I guess I embellished on that one. Example why just bringing people together in a special way. Thank you, Raven. Thank you. So
I think
yes,
he's right.
there's something about Willie's bun, and he is pretty unique. He's and Neanderthal. I have a lot of Neanderthal genes in too. That's another thing we should talk about because anyways, Chris, lots of clapping hands, and Flora said that was beautiful. So that was I loved watching him yesterday too. I have to ask you a question. So and I just saw that you have in a band too.
Yes.
The guitar part, the strumming, it sounds like ska too in there, or is it that's just a where does that influence? Do you know where the influence comes from?
It just to me the rhythm just sounds like a cumbia.
Yeah, but the guitar part's like a up, like a
okay.
Yeah. So to me,
I have to go back. I have to go back and revisit.
Yeah.
What about you, Xico? Did you?
No, so they're like really talented musicians, man. But yeah, they were playing the cumbia rhythm. They had
they mix it up, right?
And all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make those. So it was a big mix of music. That's what I was like. That was awesome. So
yeah, it's a fusion of many sounds.
So yesterday in your interview with them, we talked about there was there was this dog. I had to tell you about that.
Oh yeah,
that dog was having fun. That dog was like going off in the back, jumping around.
The cola everywhere.
Yeah. I was like, no one mentioned I was going to say that.
I missed it. I must have been gone by then.
Yeah. So, but they were awesome, and they really were. I think that was a great interview you did. So, and let me go here because tomorrow I want to shout out to my girl Lupita out there who tomorrow she'll be doing vending tomorrow, and everybody saw her hoop empress Rasta vibes also too. So she'll be vending tomorrow on 6161 Valley High Drive, Sacramento, California, 95823. And so you're gonna have a whole bunch of vendors out there tomorrow. So it should be pretty cool if you guys want to go out and support your local, support your local makers, your vendors out there. She was awesome too. So hey Betty, how you doing? So yeah.
Oh, Betty, ¿qué onda, Betty?
Yeah.
Oh, Betty Sanchez.
Yeah.
Hola, Betty.
Saludos a todos los escritores del Nuevo Sol.
Yeah. And the Victors, I saw that they seem like nice young ladies on the journey of in life. Yeah. They were. Yeah. Un abrazo, Roven Xico y Ari, querida.
Oh,
yes.
Betty. Love you, Betty.
Yeah. So go tomorrow and support your local makers. So, yes, I told her I would do that for her because, she's awesome. So let's go back to, I'm going to pull something up. You need to tell me about it, okay? This is the gotcha question. Chico, you ready for this? Hold on. We have from Oaxaca. Saludos a todos.
Saludos,
Raúl, haré que hablar del mezcal contigo, ¿ok? So, Raúl, y también con el café de Oaxaca también.
Sí.
Sí, ok.
Es tu contacto.
Yeah, con mucho gusto. Sí.
Sí quiero.
And a beautiful welcome to everybody for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. We do have, this is a gathering of people and of energy beings. So, we try to make it, ooh, yes. So, and Raul his mezcal is going to come in, and I think hopefully in a couple of weeks. So we would be able to have it here in America finally from the mountains and the little towns and very beautiful mezcal. So if you ever want to know about mezcal, you want to drink spirits, a real spirits, and you will see the spirit bring you up, we'll come for that. So Xico, tell me, you have so many talents. Tell me about this one.
So that's Radio Chicanismo. Radio Chicanismo is the umbrella where I'm doing all the work. I'm running the Raza y Rola series through it. I'm running A Mover la Colita, which is last Saturday of the month. I actually spin vinyl like live. And the whole premise of A Mover la Colita is being woken up like hella early on Saturdays to start cleaning the house. So at 8 a.m. So I do an hour live. A few days ago for like the last of March, I played a mancha norteñas. Last month I played cumbias, and the following month, or actually this month in April, I'm going to be playing rancheras.
And you actually do the spinning yourself?
Yeah. So I have my turntables and all that. I'm a record collector.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, ordering records. So here's one of the new ones that I just got. Los Dos Plebes by Los Tigres del Norte.
Eso.
I love narcocorridos and corridos and all that. So yeah.
No, please go ahead.
So Radio Chicanismo is the umbrella under which I'm doing a lot of this cultural work. So I have a page on Instagram, Instagram.com/Radio Chicanismo. Oh. And there I put my 45 record collection and also my LPs.
There you go.
And there you go, Radio Chicanismo. So you can see all that. I trim the interviews and I post them there too. And I'm doing this thing called Lotería Musical. If you see in the background a bunch of la lotería.
Yes.
So I gave myself an assignment, and I'm actually producing 54 episodes inspired by la lotería. So every week I release a new one. Right now I just did 27, which is El Corazón, and for that episode I played Bronco, Bukis, Temerarios, and Grupo Límite.
Wow.
So puras rolas románticas para llorar, puros corridos perrones, vete ya sabe. So I'm halfway. I'm 27 episodes. So I have 27 episodes to go. So it's gonna keep me busy for 54 weeks.
See, and you got a record collector out there. Amber says record collector hearts. So she's a record collector too. She has an awesome record collection. So you got some crossover here. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm my wife sometimes tells me that I have too many projects going on.
I know what's up with that.
But she's very supportive, like shout out to Vicky for always being there for me. She's always like supporting my work, and she also partakes in it. So for that episode, she like helped me choose a lot of the songs. Along with my friend Joao and Maritza, they send me like their favorite songs. And the whole idea of making that episode was because I just finished watching Bronco la serie about Bronco the band, right? They released a 13 episode series on pantalla, and it's excellent. It's better than Selena the series on Netflix. I can tell you that. So if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you probably know Bronco, que no quede huella, que no, que
hey, no. Es la tierra de Saúl.
Yeah, so I got inspired by watching that, my wife and I. So we decided to feature those songs.
Ah, qué bonito.
You know, I was in bed when I was watching that. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And Chico's levántate.
Levántate, huevón.
Yeah.
Chico,
So,
I'm just curious, like, are you sure you came to this planet equipped with a 24-hour day? Because when do you find the time to do everything that you do?
You know, it's work that needs to be done, right? And you know, Ruben was talking about being grateful and all that.
Yes.
I'm really grateful that, you know, like I'm healthy. I have a job. Right now I'm teaching from home, so in between my teaching, you know, I dedicate some time to this project, and I think this project is like really like keeping me sane right now. I'm used to being out there in the community, you know, a Soul Collective, you know, like
Yes.
setting up art shows and things like that. So I'm utilizing this time to be productive and to carry out projects that I've been thinking about. And you know, like there's this Mexica elder by the name of Maria Miranda,
Mm-hmm.
and also another Mexica elder by the name of Trudy Robles. So shout out to Ruby.
hey,
To
Chico, for everybody
Yeah.
out there who doesn't know what Michica is, can you explain to them?
So Mexica is the original name of the Aztecs.
Okay.
The Aztecs did not call themselves the Aztecs; they called themselves Mexica, and that's where Mexico comes from. And that's one of the reasons that I changed Chico from CHICO to Chico XICO. So that's where it comes from. So
Okay.
these are elders in our community. They lead one of the oldest Azteca groups in Sacramento, the oldest Mexica groups. Mexica, what is it called? Maquili Tunatiu. So they said that, you know, we need to utilize this time to create. So I'm
Yes.
doing that.
That's amazing. It's very inspiring to hear you speak of all the things that you do, because there's a fire in your eyes for sure, and you need that. You know, you need that thrust.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing that for all of us.
Someone's got a microphone that's a little bit.
El Sheriff de Chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's that?
El Sheriff de Chocolate is a song by Bronco.
Oh yeah,
So
it's
so the
animated,
drummer,
right?
yeah. So the
It's
drummer
animated.
was a really funny guy. His name was Choche Villarreal, and Choche passed away in 2012. But he was like a jokester, and he like in Nuevo León, in Monterrey, Nuevo León, he had a show that it was a children's show. It was like a cartoon and stuff like that. So El Sheriff de Chocolate was one of those cartoons. So they made a song about it, and they had like some beautiful song. You know, like right now there's this whole movement in Mexico where young artists are pairing up with like older artists,
Yes.
and they're like covering their music. And you know, like we have well, she's not from the younger generation, but she's like indie, I guess you can say. Julieta Venegas,
Yeah.
she's awesome. She's from Tijuana, so
Oh
she
yeah.
covers some Bronco songs, and you know, like it right now, like the ones that are doing like excellent in that area are Los Angeles Azules.
Yes.
They have released some beautiful albums with like new age singers singing their
Yes.
classics, and you know, which is really good because they're like another like segment of, you know, Mexican music fans are like getting into their music. So it's really cool.
And I think collaborations are just great because, you know, it's like a fusion of different. Speaking of energies, you know, Ruben was saying earlier, you know, he's talking about energies and vibes, and I think everybody bringing this to the table, you never know what comes out. You know, everybody's ideas
Mhm.
mixed together. There's a crackling little sound, right?
I think it's
Yeah,
Chico.
I'm hearing it in my headphones, and I'm trying to see if it's me, but I don't know.
I think it is. There's only one way to find out. Hold on. It's you.
It's me.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's
And
right- it's
also,
driving-
Lynn is here. So, Lynn, I think I was 3 minutes away. So, sorry about that. Hello, everybody. And Lynn was awesome.
Hi,
She had a
Lynn.
great show last week too. Yeah. So yes, there is a crackle. I bet you don't crackle on your show, dude.
I don't.
Oh, what's up? What's up with that? No.
No fighting.
Yeah. No,
For some
whatever.
reason, every time that I'm trying to get together with Ruben, something like happens with our
Well,
audio or
we were there for like 2 days trying to figure it out before his first show. So,
so I'm gonna try to plug in my headphones to the computer straight up.
So look at that.
See if that works.
El espíritu
espíritu.
chocarrero.
Neta.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there, and Xico does do a lot of things. So we put down your tiny URL where people can go there and look at different things, what you do. So now you're doing. I'm going to pull this up because you're doing a live stream show, right? And those every Thursday. What time? Around what 10 o'clock, or they kind of vary a little bit?
So I'm actually doing the show 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
but sometimes I do it earlier. For example, right now I'm having the overlines next week at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because they're in Monterrey, Nuevo León, right?
Yeah.
So I need to do it. I mean,
The time change.
if I stream at 10, I will see them like they're like at 1 p.m. over there, or 1 a.m. over there, or something or midnight.
At
I think it's 2
12,
hours.
yeah. We're gonna be 2 hours difference next week. So yeah, I know. You see, Ruben, that's why Saul and I were gonna do that show, and we had to wait for the time to readjust.
Change to readjust to itself. See?
Yeah.
So also, so in your series, right? I'm going to pull up what the last series was real quick.
Right.
And then you have a new series starting this month too, right? So last series was this one right here.
So this one is actually the one that is on right now. So on the top left corner is Mariposas del Alma, and they just went yesterday. And next to them, to the right, is the Overlines. They play like reggae and rock steady, and they're from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. And then the middle one is Filthy Drones. He's an awesome like cumbia, multi-talented musician and like singer.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be on the 15. He's actually premiering his new video on my show. And then on the 22nd, I have Filthy Drones is from San Jose. And then on the bottom left, that's Banana Leaf Boy. He's from Royal Heights. And he has this really cool rhythm that I call like Bolero Tropical. Is really cool. And then to the right, the last one is Imparcial. And Imparcial is like a trovador, like punk, punkero from San Jose too. And all of them except for Banana Leaf Boy have like records out in 45. So hopefully Banana Leaf Boy will produce and put out a vinyl soon. But he just released a song called Adios, and he has a really good vibe. And everybody, you know, I know them mainly through Instagram. You know, because we're into like record collecting, and you know, I love their music. And now more than anything, I want to provide a platform for them to for like, you know, viewers to get to know them and their music and their journey.
Yeah. So let me read this off for everybody. Every other Thursday. Well, this Thursday is the only time that's going to happen at 7 o'clock, right? And then the rest will be every Thursday at 10 o'clock. And I'm going to play a little bit, maybe about a minute or two of your show yesterday. I think I may have got the dog in there with that. I focus. So yeah.
Dale.
Let's do it. So this is a part of your interview yesterday. We'll play about a couple minutes.
After that, like at Legionnaire, that's when we were like, hey, Ivan, and we got together. Yep.
Cool. Let me backtrack a little bit and ask you this question. So when did you decide to start singing as a group? I know that you were saying that when you were little, right? But when did you decide to like, let's make this happen. Let's get a group going. And I want to add too that this is like a tradition, like, you know, in Latin America, right? Las hermanitas Núñez, you know, las palomas, las higuerillas, right? There's hermanas get together and they like, So tell us a little bit about that. And you following that tradition.
Well, when we decided to like officially form the group, like I said, Ivan only knew that I sang, but then I mentioned to him that I had two other sisters. So one night at the Legionnaires, still at the Legionnaire, a lot of our memories are at that place.
Shout out Legionnaire.
We were there watching Discos Resaca perform, right?
Mm-hmm,
we were performing with some other band, I think. I don't remember. But so Ivan saw that we were in the crowd, me and my sisters, drunk out of our minds, just dancing all over the place. And he was like, he just got on the mic and was like, all right, I got a surprise. Like, I got not one, not two, but three sisters that can sing. So I want to call them on the stage. And like I was like, oh shit, man. Like, but now we go up there, we did a whole freestyle to like they were playing cumbia, and we were like, Oakland, like so then,
Oh man, but to add to that, Nat and I and like all three of us basically on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Nat, go ahead, talk about that.
Well, I mean, we've always, como te dijimos, like we've always been into music, you know, whether singing it, whatever. Pero back like in 2012, like hace añales, we used to get together at Marina's pad, you know, and we would like, she would play guitar and we would just do covers, whatever songs, and just post them up. Y pues,
dude, the Everly Brothers play like whatever.
Caifanes, Café Tacuba, yeah, like
nice.
just, I mean, and it was nothing professional, obviously. We just literally sat in the living room and just did it. But like we've always had fun doing that together, and like we've always been really close, like us three. So I think when that whole thing happened with Ivan, and you know he started talking about let's redo seasons and cumbia, let's add that to it. We were just like, all right, well, you know what, let's do it. And at the beginning, it wasn't gonna be like personally, I didn't think it was gonna be like a thing. But then Ivan is like, hey, let's come up with a name for you guys. So then we're like, oh, okay, like then this is really gonna happen right now.
All right.
You know what's funny? Because I watched that part. I was still there but I was so focused on what you guys were talking about that I didn't see the dog.
I was focused on the dog.
He was in the back.
Yeah, I was like,
doing his thing. He was doing his thing.
So that's part of your podcast. I mean, podcast, your live stream, and usually I would have played it reverse, just so we can get to know him and then play the song. But yeah, and that's great. And these I've been watching a lot. Well, I think I watched all of them. And they're really it's a really good series. So everybody should go out there and check it out when you have time. And everybody, thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. Xico, and on your radio station, how do you listen to that?
So if they go to mixlr.com/Radio Chicanismo /showreel, they will go and see like there should be like 33 episodes. And like I said, right, I started with El Gallo, which is the number one card in Loteria, and that's all narco corridos, Chalino Sanchez, Los Tucanes de Tijuana, Los Tigres del Norte, and all that.
Okay, stop real quick. Corridos. We explain to people what those are. So
corridos are traditional ballads that were sang back in the day, right? There was no radio, so what used to happen is, like trovadores, guitarristas, they will go from town to town and they will sing corridos that either depicted, like a battle or a gunfight, historical events, like anything like that, and that's how the word travel. So corrido has the root is like correr, right? To go from to travel, to go from place to place. And corridos were like super popular during the Mexican Revolution. You have corridos about every single battle. You have corridos about Zapata, Pancho Villa, heroes like that. You have corridos about horses. We're like campesinos, right? A lot of our culture deal with that. So they're like, Pancho Villa loved horses, so every one of his horses has a corrido. El corrido del caballo Prieto Sabache, el Siete Leguas. So there's a lot about that. And then like in the present, corridos are still being written and being sang, but now it has to do with drug traffickers. It has to do like balance the people, and I know that a lot of people probably has watched like Narcos, Narcos in Colombia, Narcos in Mexico, and all this and that. But sadly enough, a lot of people have a lot of faith in Narcos. They have more faith in Narcos than they have in the Mexican government. Yeah. Oftentimes the Narcos, they take care of their hometowns. They build hospitals. They build all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm not condoning what they're doing, but it's there, and people are like singing about what is happening right now. So some of the episodes deal with that type of music. But then I have like La Sirena, which you see on this side right here. La Sirena is all about women singers. The overlines, Mariposas del Alma, some like reggae, some like like rock en español, but it's featuring like women. So it all depends. El Borracho, what you see on this side right here, or on that side right here.
Canciones cantineras.
That's my dad right there.
The whole episode is Jose Alfredo Jimenez songs. Jose Alfredo Jimenez is one of to me, is like the number one Mexican composer of all time. Yes. He wrote hundreds of songs, maybe thousands, and everyone has sang those songs. Everyone has cried to his music when they got their heart broken. Like Araceli, you ever like listen to some José Alfredo Jiménez en tus
Oh,
tiempos
heck yeah.
bajos?
Oh, sí. Y cantarlas también.
Flora wants you to write us a corrido.
También.
Well, you write one for us, she says.
Who?
Chico, I think she's asking Chico if he'll write us a song, un corrido.
Yeah.
Well,
And then, yeah, I think she's talking about who you were just.
so I'm talking about
Jose
Alfredo Jiménez.
Okay.
Here you go, one more time. Jose Alfredo Jiménez. And Jose Alfredo Jiménez, like he was around like the golden age of Mexican cinema.
Yeah.
So a lot of like big time actors, and a lot of the actors were like singers, like Pedro Infante, Jorge Negrete. Everyone covered their songs.
Right on.
It's like an
Everybody
Agustin
covered
Lara.
his songs. Agustin Lara, and we can add Juan Gabriel to that list. We can add Joan Sebastian to the list. We can add Marco Antonio Solis to that list. So, I mean, there's some beautiful music that has come from Mexico. And now that you bring Agustin Lara, I don't know if people know this, but Frank Sinatra actually covered some of Agustin Lara's songs. So they were tight like that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, like, Cuando vuelva a tu lado is what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours is that song. A lot of people don't know that. It's covered and translated to English, but a lot of people don't know that.
I think I need some mezcal. I just all this talking of music,
For reals.
I mean, I'm
Corridos and borrachos.
Yeah. And then,
Corridos y borracheras.
So Betty said that she wrote one for you too.
Una calavera.
Yeah, she did. So Calaveras are written around the Dia de los Muertos. And basically what we do is like we make fun of death. So I know that Betty wrote one about me, and about maybe with my gorro or something like that.
I read it.
The flowers are beautiful. So and once again, thank you for coming out to Cali Cocktail Hour, and everybody out there, go see Xico's show or go in the internet and listen to the music, because it's some awesome stuff, right, to listen to. I have a little bit of one more video I want to play. Yeah, so this is a special guest. I don't know if you know her, but let me see. Yes, I got it. Everybody out there, thank you for coming, and we appreciate you coming. And I'm grateful for this show. I'm grateful that everybody comes here. There's a lot of things that are really little in life that I appreciate, and seeing more of it as I get older in my life.
Thank you for creating the space.
Yeah, and we love everybody that comes here, and everybody comes here just either to get some energy exchange. That's what we'll do.
Yes.
So I have some Buddhist monks in the background. Can't barely hear it. They got some words that are like, but we need music because I need to refresh my beer. So we'll be back in a second.
All right.
A special one. This is Ani.
Oh gosh. Y no amanece. ¿Ya ven que sí se la sabe? Ya no sé si maldecirte o por ti rezar. Eso que soy. Tengo miedo de buscarte y de encontrarte. Donde me aseguran ay, qué bonito, qué bárbaro. Hay momentos en que quisiera mejor rajarme y arrancarme y a los clavos de mi pena. Pero mis ojos se ven tus ojos y mi cariño con la aurora te vuelve a esperar. Y agarraste por tu cuenta la parranda no juegues con mi honra barrandera. Si tus caricias han de ser mías, de nadie más. A ver, vengan ustedes. Y aunque claro, con locura, ya no vuelvas. Paloma negra, eres una reja de un vendaval. Quiero ser libre, vivir mi vida con quien yo quiera. Dios, dame fuerzas, que me sonríe por ir a buscar. Y agarraste por tu cuenta la no, que no se la sabía. Oh, that was a surprise. That was not planned.
Nothing's ever planned here. I go by whatever I feel, and I'm like, I look up, and that was the first one that came up on the search. So I'm like, play it.
Thank you. That was at
And
a
that was-
cemetery in Monterrey. That was one of the first altar concerts that we did. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, Victor said, your shows are great, Ruben. I might look into holistic healing in the future. I've always been too busy and thought that stuff was extra time, luxury things. My fix has been,
Victor.
so try it out. Yeah, it'd be good. And Amber said gratitude because we have this. Yes. Amber.
You know, gratitude. Gratitude. The Heart Math Institute has done some tests and some research, and they say gratitude really elevates your vibration.
Yeah.
It really raises it up, so focusing on, like Xico says, being grateful for the little things, the simple things in life, it really just raises your vibration, and you can go out into the world and do your thing.
Yeah. So have we been nice to you, Xico, right now?
Yeah, man. I see that you have Walter Mercado over there too.
That's right.
Mucho amor.
Mucho amor.
Yeah, I had to take out the mucho part because it was kind of messed up, so I just did it on the fly. So we have to say the mucho part. So, but yeah, that's also subliminal too. Yeah, and then Flora said healing, and I am going to unveil what I have in the background. Adi, do you want to read this? This is a quote from Lao Tzu. Actually, it's one of my favorite quotes ever in my life. So
I think I read it in the beginning. Is it the one?
Ready? Here it goes. This is in the background. Oh, let me get the quote from Oh, hold on. See? That performance was so beautiful. See, Adi?
Thank you.
Thank you, Amber.
So much.
Yeah. And thank you, Adi, for letting me do that.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. Life studies, skills, humble, grateful. All right. Victor. All right. Coming back. Good. Yeah. Go get some, go search it for out there because it is out there for you too. And yeah, Adi, thank you for letting me. You didn't know what's going to happen. I told everyone I never know what's going to happen until I feel it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do this.
Because this is Xico's space, but thank you.
It's everybody.
No, it's music thing, So
yeah,
it was a beautiful rendition.
Thank you.
And that's a timeless classic too.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful setting too.
Thank you.
So ready to read this? Here is all these subliminal messages in the background, all these vibration. The background is yeah. So ready? Read it out loud.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's gonna be weird. Some weird stuff. You guys, you Xico?
Do it.
Are we good?
Dale.
Okay. I don't know. All right. Go ahead.
Go, Xico. You're the poet here.
All right. So be careful. Be careful what you water your dreams with. Water them with worry and fear, and you will produce weeds that choke the life from your dream. Water them with optimism and solutions, and you will cultivate success. Always be on the lookout for ways to turn a problem into an opportunity for success. Always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dream. Lao Tzu.
So that's one of my favorite.
Beautiful. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the whole campesino vibe of it.
Well, he was all by himself out there hanging out, writing books.
Nice.
So, oh, sorry, Flora. I know I built it up so much, but that's
That's
what's in the background.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's what's in the
It's
background. So,
beautiful, and it's if you turn it into an affirmation,
yeah,
I'm sure it,
and
has so much more power.
yeah, and so be a lotus. See? But thank you, Xico, for coming out. And thank you,
welcome.
Adi. Yeah. So we can catch Xico on every Thursday at 10 o'clock now no, next week, 7 o'clock next week, 10 o'clock next week. Adi will have a show in Spanish, shooting into Mexico, and with Saul. So, you know what, everybody, it's time for Saul to come out. Órale, Saul, ¿cómo estás? Saul,
we can't hear you.
He's on mute.
Yeah.
Saul? Okay.
Yeah.
This is Saul, everybody. He's a great graphic designer, great animator. I've seen, you got to check out his stuff too. He's really good. So, and he's an awesome dude and a good person. That's what we have here. Guaranteed. We scan everybody. Their chips. we scan everybody's chips. Yeah. And Flora says good night. Yeah.
Good night.
And everybody, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
So Ruben,
yes,
I just want to let people know too that next week's episode is going to be in Spanish because the singers are from Mexico. So that's one of the things about my show, right? It's whatever people feel comfortable. So sometimes the episodes are in Spanish, sometimes they're like code switching, sometimes they're in English with like a little bit of Spanglish up in there, some calo and all that. So it all depends, but anybody can come. I stream to twitch.com/Radio Chicanismo. I stream on my Facebook page, facebook.com /Xico González, and also to my YouTube channel, which is tinyurl.com /Radio Chicanismo. So you can find me in those three places. You can friend me at Instagram at Radio Chicanismo. But
dang, you're making me go quick, dude.
In the next there you go. In the next series of Viva la Música, Araceli, me gustaría invitarte a que vengas a platicar y hablarnos sobre tu viaje musical.
Me encantaría. Será un honor, de verdad. Te agradezco mucho.
Ándale, ya dijiste.
And we have some good nights. Good night, Charisse. And everybody out there, if I skipped your or missed, well, anyways, I miss everybody out there too. So
I want to
go ahead.
Before we go, I want to leave everybody with some homework. Yes. So please go out there and support your fellow community members. Something that my wife and I are doing with our daughter Lunita, she's 4.5, is every first Sunday of the month we go to Costco before that, and on Saturday night we prepare sandwiches for the homeless. So we take them over there and deliver them. If you have some money to spare, please support Cafe every Sunday at Cesar Chavez Park. And if right now, NorCal Resist, which is another organization in Sacramento, they're providing a lot of a lot of support to undocumented families. Undocumented families don't have access to the stimulus check. They don't have access to a lot of things, right? So a lot of people are struggling. So right now they're doing a food drive. So they're asking for maseca. They're asking for flour. They're asking for frijoles, arroz, diferentes cosas. So hit me up on any of my social platforms. I can put you in contact with them. You can also donate money to them. Their Venmo is at NorCal Resist. So just be active. Share some of what you have, and let's make life a little pleasant for everyone.
That's beautiful, Xico. Thank you so much. You, Victoria, because I know how important it is to have the support. I know with Saul, so I know that you have a beautiful family, and I know that's your core.
Gracias.
Saul, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, great. I enjoyed watching you. You guys had a great show. I loved it.
Try to throw something in there, throw everybody off, see what happens. I saw the dog butt, Xico in the I was like, there it is again. So
I know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so everybody, like I said, Xico, everybody, support as much as you can out there. Be nice to everybody. That's a good start too. Sharice said, please tell Victoria hello.
I will.
And probably good night at this point. But yeah, so we appreciate everybody coming out and having, sitting here and talking and let us come into your life. And hopefully we can, have a little bit of impact, at that one person that needs it out there every time. So, yeah. Anything else? Any wise words?
I think we said everything,
Godzilla versus King Kong, Saul? No?
No.
Okay. No.
Not at all.
I was like, I said,
if you have a teenager kid, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we're waiting for we need Guillermo del Toro to make a proper one.
Watch Wolf Walkers. It's a beautiful, beautiful animated movie.
Yeah.
Wolf Walkers.
Like wolves, como lobos.
Yes.
Oh. All right. See,
it's
Wolf Walkers.
Netflix.
I've been watching a lot of Korean movies right now, so that's my thing right now. So, but I'm also gonna watch a lot of movies. I think what is called Timeshare, the movie, it's Mexican movie.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to my hold on.
Your roots.
Sorry, Mr. Shota, you missed me shouting out to you, Lupita. Lupita, hold on. Check this out before we go again, because I need to make sure that you know how much we love you. So
Lupita aquí parecía Don Francisco anunciando todo el jale.
So everybody come out tomorrow and support your local vendors because they're making everything by hand. So go out there and they're all good people out there. So go out tomorrow. You have a little bit to spare from 11 to 4 o'clock. 6161 Valley High Drive. Come out. So it's okay. We got you, Lupita. No worries about that. So so anyways, thank you everybody for coming out. Next Friday we're going to have Eduardo Cruz, who is Mexica dancer, right?
Mexica dancer.
Mexica, oh yeah, and he's also a very awesome carver, and but he's from
sculptor or carver.
Yeah, he's wood and steel, I think is what it is. But so he's from Mexico City, but he lives in Oregon, and he has a group up there. So he's going to come on and let me interview him and see what happens. So I won't. Yeah. So it'll be good. Yeah. Everybody come next Friday, 9 o'clock. You guys don't leave. We're just going to play the outro. And I want to say, give you guys a nice big virtual hug and an energy. Yeah. We'll give a big energy exchange, everybody.
And hey, everybody out there, remember to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and let it all out. When you're feeling too stressed about what the future may hold, just breathe.
Yes.
Ya tienes bien trineado al Saúl aquí, en Contagista.
So I was like, yes.
He knows.
All right. Everybody, thank you for coming out. We're going to play the outro song, and no one leave the room or I will be very, 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 very upset. I don't think you've ever seen that before. You don't want to.
Buenas noches a todos y todas.
Yeah, buenas noches, everybody.
Buenas noches.
Ruben, Saúl.
Sorry. Here we go.
I've seen my dad, and I'm alive to kill the time. What triggers the idea of la da da da? God.